Yeah, I guess we can jump in. Since I know that the thing that I am looking for is the cloister. In addition to going to the treasure trove and finding stars and maybe dropping a foundation ever, that would also be a thing that seems like a good idea to do. So yeah, we do have some things left to accomplish for sure. Um, and these are the things. These are the things that are left to accomplish. So there's that. And I guess we can jump in. We can figure it out from here. Um, so the thing that is interesting, is what is the button I am looking for? There we go. The real interesting thing is the cloister is now the cloister of Arinda, which means it is a black print and not a green print. So I have some incentives. Yes, the only thing that is interesting, there are no other interesting things, to maybe just set my banner. It seems like a thing that could work kind of well in my favor. If that was how I wanted to do it. That is certainly an option. Also, I appreciate that it'll just open antechamber doors for me at random, which is also an interesting thing. Um, do I want to set an outer room? Probably. Let's see what my options are. Maybe I will set an outer room, and then after I have done that, I will set my banner. What am I looking for in my outer room? What would I actually benefit from here? Not really any of these things. I guess shelter gives me a gem. Tool shed. Shelter also gives me access to the laboratory experiment. Not that I really have a lot of incentive to experiment anymore. Tool shed is cool though. Which three letters am I missing? That is a very good point. I have that written down as well. So this is where I am at. I have a blank at the top here. I have a blank close to the top here, and a blank in the bottom right. This and this kind of got settled by looking into the secret passage. This I had from a note in the locker room, and then this T was gifted to me by a cute picture of a cat in the kennel, and I have I and D from one of the passports. So my expectation is 2 more clues for the remaining last 3 letters, although it's possible that 1 more clue will do it. But I certainly don't have any guarantees one way or the other. All right, and I'm starting with 2 keys today. I guess I had a clock tower in the previous run, which means maybe I do just set the banner immediately. Hey, none of these rooms are black prints. All right, give me a key. This is technically a black print. I am incentivized to save it though, so I can draft it off of the antechamber. That's true. If I'm interested in brute forcing it, it gets a lot easier once I have gotten 2 more clues. And it seems very likely to me that this is a D here, but I don't know for certain. And I have literally no idea what could go here or what could go at the end. No clue at all. Parlor seems like a good idea. I like parlors. Not picking that up until I've decided. What else is out here? Nothing? Alright, let's play parlor games. This box is empty. Well, that's pretty straightforward. This box is empty. The blue box is empty. Well, that's pretty straightforward. This box is empty. Every statement with the word empty is false. Okay, that can't be true because that statement has the word empty in it. So it's false. That line is false. So at least one of the, in fact, yeah, at least one of the statements that have the word empty are true. We know that this has at least one false in it. So these can't all be false. Can they all be true? If this is all true, like this could be full true, this could be mixed, this could be full false. I mean, both of these could be fully true, right? We only have, the only guarantees is that at least one is fully true and at least one is fully false. Usually that means we have one that's mixed, true and false, but it could still be fully true. There's nothing stopping it from being fully true at that point. But this box cannot be fully true. So one of these two must be fully true. If it's this one, this could be true, false. And then this could be not also true, false. It would have to also be true, false, right? Because at least two of the boxes are empty. So if this one is full true, then this one is full false. And that does work. But if this one is mixed, say true, false, then this one is true. Then this doesn't work. Because this is now true, false also. And I can't have two with mixed statements. What if the boxes are from Australia? You make a good point. In that I still don't understand. Is that making a good point? Maybe that's not making a good point. Maybe that's something different. Maybe that's a more different thing. I think it has to be in the black box, but that's kind of based on vibes, because I haven't put it fully together in my head yet. If it's in either of these boxes, this box is mixed. Which means this box would have to be full false. This box is either true or false. If this box is mixed, this box is either true or false. This bottom statement has to be false. So this would have to be full false if this box is mixed. If this box is full false, then this box is not empty. And if this box is mixed, one of these two is not empty. So that doesn't work. This box can't be mixed. This box is either full true or full false. And full false is not an option. So this box is full true. Okay, so it is in the black box, which is what I thought. That was the vibe, and I just needed to actually work it out in my head. There we go. I guess let's open up another door. And also give me some of these. And also give me another gem. Delightful. That's a very good idea, Vera. Thank you. God, water is so delicious. I guess as long as I'm here, let's keep opening doors. Oh, the treasure trove is here. You know what? I think we just take that, actually. I think I will just take a treasure trove. I think that's fine. Open sesame. Black Moon. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, less uh-oh. Where is the treasure chest dialogues? Here we go. Black Moon, red memo. Nuance is known to be a peaceful realm. And this would have to be a lie on account of it is a printed red memo. Do I know anything about Black Moons? Green memos, handwritten green memos in blue boxes, white boxes, pink boxes, sun boxes, pink moons, blue waves. Which impurities am I enjoying? What a statement. So I went to a restaurant and the waiter made a point of using the verb enjoy instead of have or eat or order or anything else in the context of basically everything on the menu. So it was like, which appetizer are you enjoying today? Stuff like that. And it was a little off-putting. I wasn't quite sure what to make of that. I guess that was just a thing. I don't know. But yeah, this is just water. This is water out of the fridge. Has a water filter. Water out of the fridge through the water filter. I'm just chronically dehydrated, probably, so water always tastes good. What are we doing here? What else are we doing here? Okay, so actually, hang on. If Nuance is known to be a quote-unquote peaceful realm, that means that Nuance's culture is likely to be military, martial even. Which maybe gives us some room to try some things, since I'm still not confident about the weather. But if I have a known culture to work with, then maybe we can go check out the Nuance store. Seems like it would be a helpful thing to do, potentially. Yeah, give me a conference room. That sounds great. Again with the aquarium. Not yet. I'll just take a couple of keys. And also a lucky rabbit's foot. Nice. Nice. We do like luck in this house. All right, I want this to open up to the left. Perfect. I guess I can then take the library from here. It's facing the wrong way. I wanted that to face the other way. All right, I'm going to take the chapel here and hope to get the cloister right here. That's the plan. We're going to roll some dice and see if I can get a cloister. You have hard water in your area, which leads to a lot of mineral buildup on things. Yes, yes. Yeah, I have a similar problem. As far as taste is concerned, the filter is enough. But I think you're right. There is a lot of mineral buildup on things, and I should probably be taking better care of the things around me. I don't need that. Or rather, I don't need that here. I will nab the den, though, and then see if this can be the cloister. Heck yeah! Hey, look, it's the foundation. We're taking the cloister anyway. So, for there to be any interesting letters in the cloister, I feel like I have explored the outer parts of the cloister quite thoroughly on the hunt for anything that would open this, you know, knee-high wall that I definitely can't climb over. So I feel like if there was going to be some sort of strange clue, it's likely to be on the inner part of the cloister. Yeah, that looks like a clue on the inner part of the cloister. I wonder how I never noticed that. Because I've definitely looked at exactly this. I guess it just looked like markings, and I didn't notice it as letters. Anyway, this gives me CXI up at the top. And I am still missing 2 more pieces. Which is still kind of a lot to be missing. Oh, is that supposed to be spaces? Is it supposed to be spaced? Because this is also a T. Oh, in that case... Wait a minute, that doesn't work. Because that doesn't work with the thing on the back of the secret passage. Because the D is offset from the OO. Hold on. I think I took a screenshot of the secret passage thing. Maybe I did not take a screenshot of the secret passage thing. Damn it. I apparently did not take a screenshot of the secret passage thing. Which is extremely disappointing. ETT actually does make sense. So, but that would mean that the ID is here in this line, rather than here on the right line. Which I don't think lines up with the OOR correctly from the secret passage thing, but again, I might be misremembering. Also, I am sad that I didn't take that screenshot. Why didn't I take that screenshot? Time to check the VOD. We could check the VOD, actually. It's not a terrible idea either. I mean, yes, there is an easier way to find that image, almost assuredly, than checking the VOD. Because I'm sure that image exists on the internet. Okay, so then that would imply... I'm going to leave this as is. That would imply then that we're looking at this. Which I would kind of believe. No idea what CIX would be. Oh, I do know what CIX would be. CIX would be 99. Oh, would be 109. The IX is after the C. It would be 109. Math, though. Alright, well... I suppose I can try and find the secret passage to double check. But also, I don't know that that would be particularly helpful. One way or another. And this still leaves one letter that I am not positive of about, although is decently likely to be a D. Killing you. I could just, yes, I could just ask you. I get it. I understand. Did I okay, direct question, did I misread the secret passage? I have all the information? I don't think I have all the information. Then how come the ID here? No way. If I didn't misread secret passage... then how would that work? Because if I didn't misread secret passage, then the D needs to be in column 3 here. I guess... it could be this and also this. So that secret passage and ID don't overlap? I guess they don't have to overlap. Which does mean that it was a D, kind of like I was thinking. So that is potentially enough to work with. And then it's just a matter of figuring out what this means. Which, I mean, I'm not going to say it's fairly clear, but it is fairly understandable overall. Is there anything else I want to do in this run besides immediately run down to the clock and try and figure it out? I don't have the shrine. So even if I figure it out on this run, I can't do the poem on this run. What else am I trying to do? Oh, I do want to still find an observatory today. That is a thing I would like to do. And if possible, get a foundation in the 8th rank. That is a thing I would like to do as well. All right, let's open some doors here and see what I get. I need one more gem. Is what I need, actually. Thank you. Maybe it's another puzzle. Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, there is the aquarium, so this is helpful. That unlocks a random door in the antechamber. Before her, the path is revealed. Oh, that is cute. Yeah, I monked Foundation a while before, and that worked out poorly for me. Um, yes, give me some more goodies. Throne room. Heck yeah. Open up another door. Which door? I probably have to get... Oh, it's literally impossible. It's only going to open the first 3 doors. It's never going to open the north door, is it? I mean, it does say random, but, like, what are the odds I ever get a north door opened from the antechamber? Maybe literal 0? Or maybe just low. I have a lever for the north door in the throne room. That's a good point. I completely forgot that this was here. You're not wrong. %100 completely forgot that lever was there. Okay. I don't know that I need to get to the antechamber today. Although I guess I don't turn it down. Let's see if we can get the foundation placed. Let's see if we can get this going. Wow, all of this is terrible. Suppose this is all right. Wow, metal detector really not doing much today. What do we have today? 1 plus 2 is 3. Empty. Times 2 is 6. Times 3 is 18. Great. -5. -10. Plus 14 is 4. Oh, dear. It's inside out, so we have 10 plus 2 is 12. To the nearest 10 is 10. Squared is 100. Divided by 10 is 10. Divided by 5 is 2. Minus 1 is 1? Yeah, alright. Hey, look, it's keys. Just what the doctor ordered. That's fine. Do I need to backtrack for anything? I don't want to lose too many of my steps up here. So I am on the lookout for, like, a kitchen or something. A kitchen would be fantastic. There's also, like, a lot of doors I can go back to if I really want to go digging for more steps. I did burn both of my, my dice, unfortunately. Commissary school. Yo, her ladyship's chamber? How often does that happen? Is there anything I want out of there? I haven't been in there in a while. I think the answer is no. Never when you want it, but always when you don't. True. True. Commissary gives me sledgehammer, maybe a shovel. But always sledgehammer. Because there are rules. What's up, Molly? How's it going? Some bloop rinse? Yeah, that's what we're after. Ah, it does have a shovel. Huzzah. Good heavens, that treasure room really does have a lot of treasure. Hanging in there? Fair enough. Let's go digging. Guess as long as I'm here, I'll open this door. Dinner is not served. I will, however, enjoy a lunch. What cool puzzles am I working on? How much do you know about kind of the end game, quote unquote end game? The optimistically labeled end game of this game. I think we're going to the antechamber today, so pop open a quest bedroom. I was going to the cloister because I wanted to go digging. The sigils and whatnot. So the sigils is part of it for sure. I do have a little bit more work to do there. I am working on something involving castle. That is my current next step, what I am after at the moment. I ran back here for a reason, and now I'm not confident I know what that reason was, other than the digging. Which was not a very good reason. That was really kind of not strategically sound. We're just going to waste some more steps, I guess. It was to dig and open doors. Opening doors is pretty good. And be distracted. Being distracted is actually a key component. I think that is a feature, not a bug. Not seen anyone beat the castle puzzle yet. All right. That's what we're after. And might be done this run, in fact. It's possible. All right, let's go. Oh, I wanted more gems before I went up there. That's why I was messing around out here. Hey, right, this room is green. Lucky. And a delicious turnip? Man. Everything is coming up, Simon. Kitchen! Hell yeah. Perfect timing for that gem. Alright, give me some bananas. Banana me. I must be fully bananaed. +5 for every red room in my house. Which is how many? 1 at the moment? 2 at the moment because of the aquarium? That's not bad, but we're going to come back here. None of this is great. Nursery is okay. I maybe don't need additional steps at this point. I might have all the steps that I require. Oh. Oh, no! I have to draft the freezer? This is not what I asked for. This is extremely not what I asked for. Hope for a furnace. I guess so. I mean, I did spend money in almost all the ways that I want to spend money. So maybe it's not a huge deal. Certainly no reason to walk into that freezer, though. Well, now we're gemless for the rest of the run, unless I find a furnace. Maybe this is the game telling you to stop wandering about the house. But what if I want to get to the antechamber? Listen, man. There is more to game than solving puzzles, he said, somehow, with a straight face. For whatever reason, this game makes me want to optimize the wrong things. Like, generally I avoid progression like the plague, and this game makes it so easy to do things that are completely irrelevant to your actual goals. So easy. This is very much a game in which it is easy to get distracted. All right, where am I going? What am I doing? Is this really what life is like? Do I just go down to the basement? Is it time? I came out here hoping for gems, and instead I found a freezer. Alright, well, let's see whether or not I can get anything done with 0 gems. And by anything, I mean specifically placing a foundation in rank 8. At least keys aren't a problem at the moment. Dinner is served. Would you like to be a foundation? You would not like to be a foundation. Would you like to open in any meaningful way? You would not like to do that thing that I said. All right, pantry it is. How about you? Are you going to be helpful? Both of these would be helpful. Instead, I am getting the mailroom. All right, mailroom it is. All right, well, rank 8 foundation is a non-starter. Starting to think rank 8 foundation is a pipe dream. I guess foundation is just rare as is. So I probably need to, like, Banner of the King it. I probably need to do some bannering in order to make that happen in a future run. Yeah, all this is now just completely closed off. So this doesn't even feel like it matters anymore. Alright, let's see if I have enough information to do the thing. Cinnamon churro pretzels. Whoa. That sounds like a lot. That sounds kind of heavy. It also sounds maybe delicious. It sounds at least a little bit delicious. The possibility of delicious is certainly there. Alright, here we go. Give me those drums. Okay, so this is the next step to the castle puzzle, Molotov. When you said castle puzzle, you were probably talking about the collected wisdom of these 8 Morajai boxes. I've long since done that. That thing is very much in my past. And this is the result of it. Solving that puzzle rewarded me with another puzzle. And this is the puzzle that it rewarded me with. So what we're working with now is 109. Okay, I know how to get to 109. This is 109. I'm gonna press the button. I'm gonna add 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna press the button. Tor is clockwise. Lore is word. Et is east. So maybe this is clockwise to... Hang on, is Et east? Maybe Et is west. Hold. Hold. Oh, I know what it says on the clock. I'm just making sure that my orogin is correct. Wait, I have this in my notes. Et is east. Great, great. I'm a genius. So glad I know orogin. So that means that we want to go... No, Rot is clockwise. Tor is counterclockwise. Because Rot Unda is a clockwise room. So Tor is counterclockwise. So that means we need to go this way. We need to rewind until I hit east. I'm assuming this is until the word east. Well, that didn't do it, did it? Yes, I said clockwise and just explained counterclockwise. Oh, the word. Hang on. Okay, so we gotta start over. We gotta start at 109. We gotta add 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Press button. And then we gotta go around until we stop at east. Wow, that was dramatic. The Royal Key of Ares. Yeah, it's nice that it let me overshoot and then back up. That is very nice of them. A key crafted from infused Second Era gold and soot black onyx, adorned with the original insignia of the Ares family crest. Okay, cool. So the next step here is I run this to the monked treasure room, which means we have some shrining to do. Lucy, you got some shrining to do. I don't know why Ricky sounds like Strong Bad, but he definitely sounds like Strong Bad. He should probably not do that. Alright, now we can see whether or not my nuance information is sufficient and appropriate. Maybe we'll get another allowance token for it. I don't know how long it would have taken me without the subtle guidance from chat on this one. This was such a ridiculous process. You think that is an anachronistic analysis? Maybe. Maybe. I think it's more like that's what it sounds like in my head. At this depth of the iceberg, the puzzles are meant to be solved with community support. A lot of it was like minor nitpicking. Like, I mostly had it together in my head once I had the information. But also, getting the information was the hard part for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected to do this kind of stuff in Fez on my own, pretty much ever. Slowly but surely, yes, Molotov, they are getting there. I don't know how current it is. I believe it's probably still 2 or 3 streams behind on the YouTube. but anything that is not on the YouTube is still in my Twitch VODs. And also, I suspect it's a bit of a slog. My runs are not quick. Freely admitted. Alright, which one of these idiots is Nuance? Nuance is 8, apparently. Alright, so... yeah, I certainly... I intend... and this word is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I have all of the Blueprints VODs saved locally on my computer, and I intend to do some actual video editing. The symbols are on the floor in front of the door. If only I knew what each of the symbols were. I intend to do some actual video editing and putting together, like, cool bits or solves of all of this stuff. But I've not done a lot. There are a lot of projects that I would like to do and that I have not done. So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. But know that the thought is there. Know that the thought is there. All right, so here's what we're working with. Nuance is the diamond. I believe that the beam style I am going for is temperate, so these straight beams. I believe that the cultural representation moat is martial. And martial means... hold on, I have Realm and Rune saved here somewhere. Realm and Rune. So martial moats here. Martial would be these triangles. One of these things is... that's not the thing I was looking for, but that's helpful. I'm going to need to do that at some point. There we go. Get me triangles. There we go. I know the outer edge needs to be green. But we need to do this first, which is the Zeppelins, the 5 rays. That's 5. Now I can make the outer edge be green, which means this one, the straight diagonal lines. That's wrong. Oh. Get back to the correct moats, please. So what does this... okay, so I could do that and then get back to green, because I don't know what the temperature is. Guessing things is hard in this game. Oh, the moat changed. What? Now I don't know which lines I missed. Okay. And this wavy line, I think, indicates heat. This kind of curved line. The curved line indicates windy. Okay. Nuance is windy. That's great. Wind airships. Yeah, alright, sure. I actually would assume not windy, because that seems like it would make it more difficult to get airships up and running. But okay, what do I know about airship engineering? Very little. But that is progress. Very cool. Morajai Box, the Nuance variation. Puzzle boxes became just as popular in the air hangars of Nuance as they had in the ports of Morajai. Ports of Morajai. Did I already know that Morajai is shipping? Yeah, wind sailing feels more logical. I agree, high electrical temperature. I agree. Did I already know that Morajai is... I'm sure I already knew that Morajai is ships. Yes, okay. I'm just going to be confident and remove the question marks there. So we're still on temperature and culture for Morajai, which is maybe also windy? Transportation is I'm fairly confident about the ships of Morajai. This is now resolved. Is this also windy? Maybe Morajai is also windy. Who knows? Why the Marshall Nation went for airships? Look, it worked for, Why can't I remember the name of the kingdom in FF4? What is the name of the kingdom in FF4? Oh my god. I am so bad at this game. Baron! Yes! It worked for Baron. So, there you go. Nice try, nice try. Green tiles were introduced with an ability that allowed them to instantly jump across the board, representing the ease with which air travel conveys its cargo. When green tiles are pressed, that tile swaps with the opposite tile on the far side of the box. Fantastic. And we need to get them green, which means... I don't remember how this works. I need to make the oranges into greens. Purple falls? I think purple falls. Purple falls. Hey, look. A green. Aw, mistakes. So this needs to get... Here we go. Is this how I want to do it? Yeah. No. Does this work? I certainly don't want to put a green in the center. I feel like I have caused problems here. Yeah, this is dead. All right, hang on. Hold on a minute. I could put a green here, but that seems like a bad idea. We could do that. And then put the black in the center. To get the orange into position. And then... we're screwed. Okay, moving the black is a mistake. Got it. Understood. Although I might be able to do it that way and then use the greens to get the purple back on top again. Putting black in the center, I think, is a problem. I think I need to be able to do this, is the problem. do need to get this green moved, though. And then this needs to get moved also as a result. So we are going to need to do some purple shenanigans. So that's good. And then the next step is here. No? Oh no. Why not? Why doesn't that work? Oh, because there was two of them, because it was cross gray and cross other thing. Okay, I screwed it up. Up, it has been screwed once again. Wow, this puzzle box is legitimately a puzzle. How dare they? Here we go. Success! Alright, now let's get that sunk. Get that sunk. Swap that again. There we go. I had that state before and I zoomed right past it with 3 greens next to the orange. I was going for something different and then got the thing that I was looking for differently. How does orange work again? So I'm kind of relearning this as I go, but orange appears to work such that if it is directly surrounded onto, if it is like, if you look at the 4 adjacency, right? If it has 2 things directly across from it that are the same color, it'll be those things. Or if it's in a corner and is only touching 2 things that are the same, you press it and it'll become those things. This is getting screenshot. Hang on. I need to sort my screenshots. My screenshots are drastically unsorted right now. All right, new screenshot. Postcard. Nuance. Yeah, I don't think it's the diagonals. I'm not sure that it works with the diagonals at all, but I could be wrong. I could go back in the Kararika room and it'll tell me. The Royal East Air Hangar. By far my favorite realm I have visited during this trip. But I have always had a penchant for technology, and am less moved by the beauty of nature than others. The soot-filled streets and soaring skyscrapers here are just as stirring to me as the mountains of Kararika or the beaches of Morajai. Okay, so this is the first confirmation I have that Nuance is after Kararika and Morajai. This is Vera directly into Kararika. So we have... Vera is before Morajai and directly into Kararika. So we have Vera, Kararika... So assuming that the other stuff here is right, we have Vera, Kurarika, Morajai, Nuance. Well, that is an order that I can attempt at some point. Oh, but Archaries is not from Nuance. That's interesting. So maybe Archaries was from Iraja? That was also a thought, that Archaries is maybe from Iraja. But Archaries, the Archaries postcard referenced... Alright, anyway, let me finish this. I'll finish reading this. Perhaps I am just letting my childhood love of dirigiblocks compromise my objectivity. Wow. The Baron was a gamer. From the shops I have visited, it seems the series is just as popular here as it is back home. Speaking of home, as I look across the Eastern Sea, I can almost see its shores. I never thought that I would miss the sight of red flags. Okay, yeah, this implies that Nuance was 7th. That Nuance is right before... The implication here is this. Let's go look at some other postcards real quick. Means they have had video games a long time. It's true. Which of you idiots is Archaries? Mountains is Archaries. Arrived here after a few days of sailing. And it made me realize how much more convenient it would have been in the old days when the railway tracks extended all the way north. Okay, so they definitely got to Archaries from Iraja. And I don't know why I missed that line, having read this thing multiple times at this point. Yeah, this is absolutely the final order. Which means we gotta get back into room 46 at some point. Some near future point. We got work to do, kids. Also, I still don't have the postcard from Morajai, which, like, we should figure that out sooner rather than later. But, you know, whatever. You know, whatever. Archaries is a destination with which I am well acquainted, having traveled here countless times on business for Cinca. This time, however, I will avoid the familiar towns and factories and will instead trek along the northern coast, an area with which I am wholly unfamiliar. You know what it was? Is I internalized got here via sailing and was like, oh, they didn't fly, and somehow completely missed that he was then talking about railway stuff. Wow, I am so oblivious sometimes. How do you guys put up with me? Alright, which one is Kurarika? Kurarika is, I think, this one, yeah? Screaming into spoiler chat. Yeah, that checks out. Yes, Kurarika is the chevron. That's this one. If the majority of adjacent tiles share a color, then the pressed tile will change to that color. And adjacency in this case, I believe, is direct adjacency rather than diagonal adjacency. Well, it's a good thing spoiler chat exists so that y'all have a place to vent. All right. I guess we're done for this run. I can't make it to rank 8. I can still find an observatory. Nope, observatory required gems. So unless I find a furnace and then find a gem and then find the observatory, I think we're just going to the break room and calling this run a run. I think this is as good as it's going to get. Unless I feel like I want to hammer at Mora Jai a little bit more. Where's spoiler chat at? In the Discord. There is a Discord chat specifically for blueprints, which I am not looking at. Some pretty complex posts recently that laid out where all the remaining castle clues were and which ones would get me the full solution. Yeah, once I had the information, it came together pretty well, so I'm pretty happy about that. This is a section you had hidden. I mean, I have it hidden, so. But yeah, there is a whole section for spoilers for various games that I only unmute once I am done with the game. Do we want to play around with Mora Jai? All right, what if Mora Jai is also windy? We know that it is the 8 rays for sailing. We don't know what moat type it is. Oh, that's not the thing I was looking for. Go back to the 8 rays for sailing. And we know that Mora Jai is what color? Mora Jai is white. White is the staggered dots, the staggered empty circles. Is there not a... It's not staggered. It's just empty circles as opposed to filled circles. That one. So now we can play each of these ones and figure out... We can kind of brute force this one, assuming Windy is correct. Which I am not confident that Windy is correct. But we can just see here if maybe Windy is correct. Windy does not seem to be correct. Thank you, Molotov. Do I have a guess as to which of the moats is correct for Mora Jai? Because none of these are trading, which is what I would have kind of looked for. Maybe Metropolitan? Like, the Mora Jai boxes, right? Oh, maybe it's... Poetic? Academic? Industrial? Maybe that's industrial? Mora Jai is famous for its little game boxes. Yeah, that could be industrial. Too many options, needs more research. I mean, the real thing right now is it's just the weather that I don't know. It's not snowy. What are the different weathers? What weathers are available? Foggy or misty weather. Wavy lines for heat. Rainy, stormy, and snowy are the other options. Yeah, rather than just spending the next, 20 minutes on this, I'm probably better off just coming back later once I have a little bit more information. The more I open the treasure trove box, the more likely I am to get information that is relevant to my interests. So we'll keep on hammering that until it gives me more information. In the meantime, this run is over. But the key is now available once I get the ability to monk the treasure chest. So that's going to be a bit of a trial to get to. But not too bad. Alright, so we're headed to the break room. I guess I'll open some remaining doors along the way, just in case we find, like, a tomorrow room or something. Like, mildly helpful. But otherwise, we are done with this run. None of that is helpful. Look, apples. Delicious apples. You're a little late. Coat check. So we'll just drop the Chamber of Mirrors here and be done. Where am I going? I mean, I guess I could go into here, but I can't get... Hello? Oh, there's a key. Yeah, there was a key in here the whole time. I'm not going to be able to get much done here. Look at all those keys. All those echoes, man. There's so much space in the Chamber of Mirrors. You know, it's real interesting that it's called the Chamber of Mirrors when there is not a single mirror in the Chamber of Mirrors. Not a one. Actual 0 mirrors in the Chamber of Mirrors? You noted that previously? I bet you did. Not at all surprised to learn that people in chat are more observant than I am. Into the den real quick, see if we can't find anything useful. Maybe even set it. I'd believe that. This doesn't help. This doesn't help. This doesn't help, but has a door. Oh! This is actually mildly useful. We can maybe go get some more blueprints. Hang on. Not helpful. Has doors. Not helpful. Although we could just call it a day in this break room instead of the other break room. I have the steps, though. Big shame about that inability to pick up gems. So even if I found an observatory, I wouldn't be able to take it. Yo, hyphenated. Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing today? Yeah, none of this is helpful. Alright, well, we're gonna do a little bit more running around to see if I can get some blueprints out of the Chamber of Mirrors. What were you up to today, Hyphen? What was your stream like? How's the printing? Pretty good. I just resolved Castle, so now I have a key. which is going to take a bit of finagling in order to use effectively. But like that is real progress towards something, probably. You lost your Luck Be a Landlord streak at 5 or 6. Tried out the new potato patch, which adds pets. Ooh. Damn. The potato content train continues. At some point, I should probably go back to that game. I hear it's good. Hell yeah. Second observatory? That's so good. Second gymnasium. I don't feel good about second gymnasium. That is extra doors, but it also is extra red room, which is not my favorite. Not quite tired of it yet at 400 hours played. Well done. All right, that is enough digging around. We're going to go up to the break room and call it a day here. Where am I going? Oh, I did this wrong. I think I still have enough steps to get there. Cool. All right. Forward progress. It is now lunchtime. All right. See you around, Hyphen. Thanks for dropping by. And thank you for sharing your community with me. Always appreciate it. I'm sure there's a bunch of overlap between Yuumi and Dark Twinge anyway. So, people who are unfamiliar, I am Jim the Eternal. I do a lot of variety. Some of that variety includes blueprints. Also play a lot of Metroidvania games and other strategy games. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, happy to have you here. All right, so before we start on the next run, I think I'm going to take my usual break here. All right, well, I have returned and ready to take it to the next day. So let's do that. I don't know what I'm sitting here waiting for. Let's do it. Save and continue. So I'm still thinking about Eragon. And I know that there have been interviews with, what's the guy's name? Tonda Rose, I think, the developer of Blueprints. And I'm wondering if there's been interview questions about Eragon, because I would be really interested to know, like, specifically I'm wondering what he envisioned it being pronounced like, what the language sounds like. Because I think that would be cool information. Silver key? That's a nice find. Oh, this is still muted. I see the problem. There we go. All right. Show me a shrine. Feels like the puzzles were designed first and the language built around it. Yeah, I think so. Because there's some very specific ways that the language works in order to work with the puzzles. Which I'm on board with. But yeah, it does make it seem like maybe the usefulness as a language is a little bit secondary. Yo, we found the shrine. What's up, buddy? All right. Well, I know that 50 coins is monk. Right? I know that. Is that a thing I know? Where's the thing? Where are the things that I know? Here. 50 coins is dancer. 30 coins is monk. Ah, good thing I checked. Blessing of the Monk. Which means we can immediately set the banner for Black Prince. Because now I am looking for a treasure trove. What's up, Tails? How's it going? Show me treasure trove. Okay, I'll take a conference room. But then you can show me treasure trove. Okay, I'll take a boudoir. I'm always down to pick up an extra gem for relatively free. And I have a sleep mask. That's delightful. Normal amount of misery. I am sorry to hear that, Tails. My sympathies. Drawing room is cool. I'll get a replacement gem for the gem that I spend. And then do something. Okay, no, I'll take the cloister, actually. That's pretty sick. The cloister's pretty good. Because then if I find the treasure trove off of it, we're going to reroll for the treasure trove here. Okay, no, we're going to take the Starfish Aquarium. And then we'll reroll for the treasure trove. Because I want to get more doors opened. Before her, the path is revealed. Thank you. Heck yeah! Alright, south and east is open, which is very nice. Wow. This came together super cleanly. Yeah, you can even see the letters from here. You can see the markings here that are the letters. You can't see the letter to the gardener. That's only there once you have successfully opened the door, but... alright, well, let's get all of these goods. Blue moons. How do we feel about blue moons? Green memos in blue boxes are always true. White boxes, pink boxes, suns, pink moons, and blue waves. We don't have any opinions about blue moons. The sacred hour is not technically on the hour. Fascinating. Blue moon. Hand written red memo. The sacred hour is not technically on the hour. Oh. No, I know that. The sacred hour is 1:30, which is not on the hour. Okay. This isn't some weird, like, 8 o'clock is not 8 o'clock. I don't know what's going on with that. No, it's 1:30. 1:30 is not on the hour. I agree. You don't have to go through any particular mental gymnastics in order to make that be true. It is just a true statement. Fantastic. Is there anything else I want from today? Stars. I want stars from today. So let's find one of hopefully multiple observatories. This is not one of any observatories, but I will go into the storeroom and take my free key and gem. This isn't the direction I wanted to go. Oh, I don't have a choice. Ha ha ha. I forgot how doors work for some reason. I'll go back to the entrance hall and see if we can get like a den or something. What's up, Sainiku? How's it going? The kitchen is nice. This is actually a pretty good servant's spare quarters. So let's take that. Yo, car keys? What a deal. Time for more parlor games. This is my other favorite thing about this game. That's 3 statements! What? How is that allowed? Only one of this box's statements is true. If that's true, the others are false. Fascinating. So, this cannot be full true. The gems are in a box with a true statement. The gems are in a box with 2 true statements. Yeah, this box cannot be fully true. It can be fully false, I guess. And it can be mixed. The gems are in a box with a false statement. The gems are in a box next to this box, okay? Only one of this box's statements are false. So this also cannot be fully true, which means this has to be fully true. So we at least have that going. The gems are in a box with 3 statements. There are the same number of true and false statements on boxes. Oh my god. This is starting to become too much. This is starting to become a lot. Yeah, neither of these can be fully true, so this has to be fully true. So the gems are in a box with a false statement, which both of these boxes have false statements. And the gems are in a box next to this box, which both of these boxes are next to that box, but maybe it's one false statement as opposed to any false statements. The gems can still be in a box with 2 true statements. The gems are in a box with 3 statements. That is true. We know that's for sure true. So this isn't fully false. So this is fully false. This is fully false. Every single statement on this box is false. The gems are not in a box with a true statement. The gems are not in a box with 2 true statements. Which means the gems have to be in this box. And this is mixed. Any of this can be true. We know the gems are in a box with 3 statements. Maybe this means the gems are in a box with 1 false statement, as opposed to the gems are in a box with any false statements. Let's see. If this is 2 false, 3 true, then for the bottom statement to be true, this needs to be 2 false, 1 true. So false, false, true. But that would put the gem in this box, which isn't allowed. So the bottom statement cannot be true. The bottom statement has to be false. We know this statement is true. Yes, absolutely, it is a lot of work for a couple of gems. And we're at 2 true, 3 false. This is now 1 and 1. So if this were true... Actually, this being true or false doesn't say anything anymore. Because the bottom statement is false, the middle statement is true, and if the top statement is true, No, the top statement can't be true. The top statement has to be false. Okay, great. So this is 2 false, 1 true. Yeah, this is 2 false, 1 true. Which means they just has to be in the blue box. Yo, apples. I mean, I said that like 3 verifications ago that it just has to be in the blue box, but I wasn't sure how specific some of these statements were. So, bit of a mess, but it came together. All right, now I have some gems. The important part is I have some gems. Yes, give me that observatory. 3 ranks in. And let's find out some things. What does it mean? Add a word to the spiral of stars. Then gain 1 key and 1 gem for each rank reached. Then lose 3 steps for each rank reached. Then gain 1. 1 what? We don't know! We might eventually know, but not yet. Lots of other goodies here, though. Then gain 1. My face when I gain 1. Gross. Sounds like a hallway to me! I have enough keys that I could Great Hall it here. Wait, Great Hall is the south door? I think I've already opened the south door. Great Hall is the east door. I've already opened the east door. Okay, yeah, we're just hallwaying. Plus key. Fine. Give me another observatory. None of these are another observatory. I'll take the laboratory, though. We could start an experiment and check announcements. Everybody loves announcements. I'm at the point where I love announcements more than I love experiments, so that's something. Alright, first things first. Staff services, special orders. We are ordering a sledgehammer. Everyday sledgehammer. I want to be your sledgehammer. Announcements? New announcements? Yeah, new announcements. The best. Surprisingly, according to the network records, Simon has actually found and used all 16 upgrade discs. Which is crazy, because I'm not even sure I knew where half of them were kept. Okay, so if I hadn't done that, this would be a clue as to which upgrade discs I was missing? Or maybe it would just tell me how many I had left. Which is not helpful because that information is already in the library. But I guess there's no harm in having redundant information there. But, that's cool. I'd be interested to know what happens if you get here without having used all 16 upgrade discs. Monday, January 31st. God, so many days from the start of this thing. I guess we're almost at 100 days. Alright, well, new announcement read. Fantastic work. Let's start an experiment, I guess? Oh, yeah, lockpicking skills. Let's go. Do I want to do it for each bedroom you draft after your second? I feel like I have already drafted 2 bedrooms. So this could be good. Drafted 3 bedrooms, I think. And I am on the lookout for more steps. Or I could just take this. How many rooms do I think I'm going to draft? I think this ends up being about 3 more often than not. And I don't have a sledgehammer yet, so we shouldn't do the locked trunk business. So we could do bedrooms, or we could take my pseudo guaranteed 3. I think I'll just take the pseudo guaranteed 3. Sure. Reading Nook is great. Library is great. Something with doors. No, a passageway is fine. Dining room is great. It's not going to be enough time. Gross? Don't do this to me? I'll take a hallway closet, though. Wow. Yeah, this hallway closet has the business. Thank you, hallway closet. Well, that was good. I should go back for that. This is not back. Mistakes were made. I will, however, enjoy a lunch. This is back. I'm gonna go back for that key. And then what did I check out last time? The pump system user manual. Fascinating. Yeah, all right. Today, February 2nd, 94. I'm gonna take some screenshots of this, the final book I am missing. Pump manual. Page 1. This is no longer particularly useful because I never intend to manipulate the water level again. But, I have made wronger statements than that in the past. So, who knows what this game will throw at me. At any rate, better to have it on hand than not. That's it. Alright, I now have screenshots of every book the library has to offer. I am truly well read at this point. You know what? As long as we're here... Is it going to give me any information, any interesting information on my 16 upgrade discs? No, it doesn't. There's nothing here saying that I have found them all. It's merely saying that I have used 16. And 7 red letters. God, this is so frustrating. 7 red letters. Mora Jai is here. It doesn't look windy, does it? I don't know that it looks anything, though. It looks watery, is what Mora Jai looks. But that doesn't really tell me much. Maybe with a magnifying glass it'll tell me more. Or maybe it won't. Maybe there is no additional information to be gained there. Alright. Let's head on up this way and see what we can find. Mostly what I'm going for is to open up the antechamber and to hit another observatory. Because we're ending the day in the treasure trove. And that's really everything. That's really like the major thing that I am doing today. Oh, I guess if I could get Foundation in rank 8, that would be helpful. That is still a thing that I am looking to do. Oh, what a convenient sledgehammer. Take the den, grab a few extra gem. Somebody left some money on the floor. That's neat that it has the, like, the shadow from the fire underneath the money. That's cool. I am actually on board with a greenhouse here. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is a pretty barren location, so I don't know the greenhouse is going to get me much in the way of gems. Maybe Courtyard just has better loot in it. Maybe it doesn't matter. Courtyard potentially opens me up to more options regarding Antechamber. That's probably worth. And it gives me a shovel! I should never have doubted the Courtyard. Worthless old shoe. Yeah. Great. Few old coins. Cool. Because I needed $2 more when I was previously sitting on $457. Foundation. Ew. Try again. A little late for the break room. Ooh, Solarium potentially gives me more shots at the Foundation, too. Okay. We'll take the Solarium here, even though that makes things very awkward. Have I taken pictures of this? Have I taken pictures of the Solarium? I have not. Solarium. Gardening notes. 1. Gardening notes 2. Wanted me to remind you once again that it is expected of you to keep the grass in the cloister cut and the trees trimmed. I have a feeling you may have forgotten how to open the cloister wall again, so to save you some stern words, I decided to draw you a little diagram to help you out. Who knows, maybe this time it will stick. Sympathetically, Brigitte. Brigitte is great. She is very helpful. Thank you, Brigitte. Alright, open sesame. Conservatory! We love a conservatory. Chapel. The chapel can continue being commonplace, actually. That's great. Master bedroom, currently rare. What if it happened more frequently, though? Do I need to go into the master bedroom with any kind of frequency? Not really. I just don't want it to be rare. Maybe it just stays rare and we just never see the master bedroom again and that's just gonna have to be fine? I want to get into the master bedroom at least one more time. Make it standard. And this is common and that's fine. Yep. Great. Love it. Why are you beeping at me? Oh, because there's a coin on the floor. All right. It's a deal. An oversized turnip. Delicious. All right, let me in. None of these open through? As much as I want the next observatory, I want to get into the antechamber more. Showroom is good here, actually. Showroom is fantastic here. Did I take a quest chamber? Quest bedroom? The boudoir. No. No, I did not. Alright, what is for sale? I mean, I'm just buying everything anyway, so... Yo, emerald bracelet, sick. Sick. Good timing on the emerald bracelet. Opens all normal doors, fantastic. Call it a day while wearing the moon pendant. I will start tomorrow with 2 of the items in my inventory. Great. What if it's master key and emerald bracelet? That would be so good. That would be so good. Do we need to go into the antechamber? Not yet. And I have 0 intent to actually pick up the basement key. Oh, but this door is open, so it does open the way down to there. So that's actually pretty helpful. Because this could be the foundation. Oh, master key is here. I kind of want to use the silver key and see if it'll get me the foundation. I think I know the map solution. The map solution? I don't know what you're talking about. Or maybe I have forgotten what you're talking about. The 8 countries? Yeah, I want to get into room 46. Yeah, I definitely want to get into room 46. That is different from needing to get into the antechamber specifically. Because I haven't opened the door to room 46 yet. None of these are the foundation. I am very sad. Gift shop potentially opens in the correct direction. Show me foundation. Damn it. All right. Vestibule is cute. I guess we can take the Great Hall here. Just use the master key on everything. Master key is pretty hot. This is blank. So this is going to be goodies, yeah? Nope. This is going to be goodies. This does not need to be set again because it's already set. And this is blank, but I can open it for free. Hooray! Why are there... Oh. I see. Metal detector did the thing. Clock tower? Sure, actually. That sounds delightful. Suppose I will take a step into the clock tower and see what it's going to give me. Not that there is much that I need from the clock tower. But it does have the potential to make my next run better. Oh, hey, look, it's the thing. Alright. We're running, we're running, we're running. The sacred poem still hasn't been useful. Not that way, this way. No gems or keys needed. What a deal, right? Yeah, sure. I don't know. None of this matters. Take a planetarium, I guess. Quest bedroom. Yeah, all right. Give me the extra steps. Oh, there's more stuff. Yeah, great. Because that extra coin is going to make a huge difference. I should not have picked up that prism key, actually. Because now it's going to be potentially a moon pendant item. Maybe I can find a way to get rid of it. Like, if this door is locked, I could use the prism key. Sweet. Special cost bypassed. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's axed anyway, but... Sure, kitchen me. Use it to discard? Can you discard items? Is that a thing? Banana! Incredible. Look at all the steps. I'm actually going to wait on the club sandwich and the tomato soup, just in case I am forced to draft a weight room. Oh, yeah, discarded it. Yeah, yes, correct. Break room doesn't matter. I guess vestibule. Or I could just take the weight room, and then the weight room is gone, and then I can get the food. Yeah, I'll just take the weight room here. Take my steps. Whatever. I ordered this in this way for that exact reason. No problem. That is already flipped. Yep. That's true. It even improves the soup. None of this is helpful. Chamber of Mirrors here is fine. We can see if that gives me a real benefit. There is the possibility that it will give me a real benefit. And dinner has been served, so, country stew pie. Plus 40. I don't want an extra wine cellar. Do I want an extra boudoir? That's actually a question. That I'm not positive of. That's true. It is an extra source of dice. Dice are pretty good. All right. You've convinced me. I have been convinced. I guess as long as I'm here, I might as well get the keys. Okay. What else am I doing here? Why am I still running around? Because there is the possibility of an observatory. That is why I am still running around. All I really want out of this run at this point is an observatory, and then to Monk the treasure room. Alright, so that means we can run down to here, or run up to the Great Hall. Let's run down to here. No, let's run up to the Great Hall first, and then come back down. It's not like I don't have the steps for it. We have Monk? We do have Monk! We have the Blessing of the Monk. My immediate next hit was the Shrine. And I know what totals get me Monk. So that worked out perfectly. It's like I was saying. Everything is coming up Simon. Still can't purchase the home edition of Dirigiblocks. Very sad. There's an allowance. Oh, there is an allowance token in the antechamber. That's true. I should go pick that up. While it's not relevant, it is still more resources, and I'm never going to turn down more resources. I don't want any of these? Passageway, I guess. So, what do we think? Is unda the word for room? Considering that rot is clockwise, and rotunda is clockwise room? Hey, extra observatory. Just like we wrote it up. Add a word to the spirals of stars. Then gain 1 key and 1 gem for each rank reached. Then lose 3 steps for each rank reached. Then gain 1 coin. Heck yeah, 1 coin. That doesn't work because Aquarium isn't under the sea. Cryptomancer. Please. There is still another observatory. Somewhere out here. None of these are relevant. Hallway closet me, I guess. Give me complete garbage because it's not off of a hallway. Okay. I see how it is. I do still want to open 46. So let's go open 46. What is the way to 46? When I fight Volivar and he takes all my money, he'll heal for more. Oh man, I love Bloodstained. Hey, Chrono, how's it going? Can I actually get a cross here? I think I haven't hit the right button. Charade all dialogue. Alright, I'm on it. For some value of on it. I think actually I am not on it. And I will not do any of those things that you just said. But I do appreciate the suggestion. As I am a man what loves suggestions. I especially love receiving suggestions and then not acting on them. That's probably my favorite thing to do as a streamer, is have people tell me to do a thing and then I don't do it. I don't know what that says about me, but I really do enjoy not doing the things that people want me to do. Suggest I not do the thing. Dang. Ah, that puts me in a bit of a pickle, doesn't it? Crack. Crack. Exciting. Alright, let's see if I can go find observatory number 3. Alright, are you an observatory? What if I redraw the floor plans? Might you then be an observatory? Wait a minute. How are you gonna put the closed exhibit here? What? Why is that possible? I suppose a pool is fun. Any other goodies out here? No. Nice swim trunks, though. Yeah, okay, so this just puts the security thing for the closed exhibit against the wall. Take the sauna. Sauna's fine. How? Why is that okay? Found the answer to the... Yeah, where I am on the McDonald's... It's not exactly like a quadrant scale, but like that triangle. Triangle radar, however those things work. Alright. This now needs to be... Yo, I haven't been in here? Nothing of interest. Broken lever? Do I want to take a broken lever with me next run? Sure. Second cloister? What a great place for a throne room. I guess I'll second cloister. I don't know what I'm going to do with second cloister. Dig up some coins, I suppose. Alright, be an observatory. I said observatory. Yet another throne room? How many throne rooms are going to be in this house? Vault. Cute. Alright, I guess I'll save my one die here. Sure. Oh, that's convenient. I guess we could have tested to see whether or not we would get... Huh. Have we ever monked Vault? No. It is a curious proposition. Oh, this opens the thing. That's actually very convenient. Way more convenient than I expected. Alright, observatory. It's not an observatory. This time I remembered. True, true. It took me a while of not remembering, though. Okay, let's go to the room. It took me many times of not remembering. The dice don't matter. I'm literally... There's no more doors to open. That doesn't get me through. I gotta go around through the conference room here. And then back up. There's a lot of walking around. At least I don't have to go down to the basement. Yeah, because this is stuck there. None of this connects here. These are all walled off. If we could break glass in the Chamber of Mirrors, sure. Yep. Gotta keep going around here. This side is open. So is this side. So I can go through here. I will take the blue crown, thank you. Maybe the moon pendant will give it to me. All right, so now I believe I have an answer to this. Which is Orinda Aries, Iraja, Arch Aries. 4 is Vera. Which one is Vera? I think that's this one. I'm so bad at geography. Oh no. Hang on. Fortunately, I have classroom screenshots. Somewhere. Okay, Vera's here, Morajai's there, and Kararika's on the side. Great. So, Vera is 4. Kararika is 5. Morajai is 6. Nuance is 7. And then back home. Why isn't that right? Okay. It's time to read postcards again. Hang tight, kids. There are postcards that are about to happen. Keep you posted? All right, I will. All right, so I can do this, I suppose. Oh God, why? Yeah, whatever, good enough. Hang on, we should. What is here? Fit to screen. Perfect. Probably. Good enough. By far my favorite realm I have visited during this trip. But I have always had a penchant for technology and am less moved by the nature of others. Beauty of nature than others. The soot-filled streets and soaring skyscrapers here are just as stirring to me as the mountains of Kararika or the beaches of Morajai. Alright, so we have Kararika and Morajai before Nuance. That's a thing we have. From the shops I have visited, it seems the series is just as popular here as it is back home. Speaking of home, as I look across the eastern sea, I can almost see its shores. Never thought that I would miss the sight of red flags. So this strongly implies that Nuance is 7th. Very strongly implies that Nuance is 7th. Arch Aries arrived here after a few days of sailing, and it made me realize how much more convenient it would have been in the old days when the railway tracks extended all the way north. Okay, so this is... Arch Aries is not from the other continent. Arch Aries is from either Iraja or Fen/Orinda into Arch Aries directly. So this is the implication. This is wrong, apparently, but this is what I believe. Arch Ares is a destination with which I am well acquainted, having traveled here countless times on business for Cinca. This time, however, I will avoid the familiar towns and factories, and will instead trek along the northern coast, an area with which I am wholly unfamiliar. This is Kararika. There have been fewer and fewer opportunities the further we travel up into the mountains to attend to my correspondence. I find myself regretting having brought so many books, as this is the first realm I have visited without porters. First realm I have visited without porters. I wonder if that gets called out later. Here, every person is expected to carry their own belongings, and if you can't, you throw away that which is expendable. It's looking like I'll be bringing back less souvenirs than I had planned. I never expected to appreciate the cold, but the frigid weather here is a welcome relief coming from the sweltering shores of Vera. So Vera directly into Kararika. Or maybe just Vera before Kararika. Maybe just Vera before Kararika. I was a little disappointed that there's not been a drop of rain during my time here, as every Arajan story I have ever heard has begun with rain. I suppose the anecdotes I make on this trip will have to do without that flavorful setting. However, even without the rain, the puddles and ponds that dot the countryside make this place feel different than home. Lorja Yena Ajlor Lune. Goodbye, Yena. Hello, water? What is Yena? We don't know what An or Na might mean. Yena might be princess or queen? Because we know that there is, what's her name? The Ajaran princess has a bust in the foyer. Oh, what is her name? Caitlin? Jari? I know I took pictures. Where are my pictures? What? Where are my pictures, actually? What did I do here? Oh, no, here we go. Here. Does that bring it up? No, it doesn't. But anyway. Jari Yena is the name on the bust in the foyer. Maybe Jari is the title? And Yena is just a name? We know that Lune is water, because that was in the classroom note. Goodbye, Yena. Hello, water. Oh, man. Arajan continues to be a bit of a mess. This we now know is Rote and Unda. Alright, I don't think I'm getting this. Whatever. Next postcard. I'm actually writing this last postcard sitting at my desk at home. Okay, so confirmation that Fen Ares is last. Suppose I should put forth the extra effort and drop it in the mail for consistency, but I am tempted to save the postmaster a trip, as it will just wind up here once again to join the other 7, which I am pleased to report were all waiting for me on my desk as safe as can be. Flipping through them has reminded me of the many friends I made and lessons learned along the way, and as I look back, one truth shines brighter than the others. Air travel is much better than sea travel. P.S. Remind Anne to replace the books I lost. Yeah, so this is pretty heavily implies nuance into Fen Ares. Maybe the ordering here with Vera, Kararika, and Morajai is wrong? Because it could be Morajai into Kararika? Just swap 5 and 6? Let's see if swapping 5 and 6 does it. Is there like a button I need to hit or something? Damn it. Alright. That didn't do it. 8 realms in 8 months. The objective was simple enough, but in what order, what route, and where to start? Questions like these are ones I tend to ignore, as planning has never been my strong suit. Well then, in the true spirit of adventure, I have departed, forsaking both map and plan, and as it happens, the road has taken me south. It seems fitting to begin the journey by visiting a fragment of the Old Kingdom, a landmark as black in realm as it is in name, and a story I feel closely connected to. Okay, so south here might not necessarily mean directly to Araja. This doesn't necessarily mean that Iraja happened. Okay, so we could still be Arch Ares to Iraja rather than, yeah, this could swap 3 and 2. Let's try that. If I swap 3 and 2. Alright, and then swap 6 and 5 back. If I successfully place all the pins, they send you a congratulations letter by airship. Yeah, sure. Seems as believable as anything else. Yeah, I assumed that this, when this mentioned the road has taken me south, was going from Orinda Ares to Iraja, and that's not necessarily the case. Despite my prejudice against Mother Nature, I own that I have deeply loved my time here at Vera. The memories of the youthful trip I took here with my brother have been relentless, and as I have gotten older, I find less and less occasion to recollect on such trivial pleasures. One thing I do remember vividly, which has not lost a single speck of charm, are the famous turtles. Each visitor of Vera upon arriving is lent one of these hard-shell friends for the duration of their stay, to serve as both steed, guide, and companion. I am still under the spell of island life, even if the weather here is much more severe than it was on Morajai. Wait, so Morajai happens before Vera. What am I doing? Oh, no wonder I have this wrong. Morajai into Vera. Wow, I just had that backwards? Why did I do that? Okay. So this is likely to be Morajai into Vera into Kararika. Okay. So let's go back to this setup. And then it's Morajai into Vera into Kararika. Whoa! Okay, great. Oh, I've seen this. Is this the same as in the monked version of the room? Last Will and Testament. Oh, wow. Okay, if this is the same as in the monked... If this is the same as in the monked version of the room, then I've already seen this. I guess I should look at... I should look at my screenshots and verify that it looks the same. Be sus of things being identical. That's fair. The number is the same. Orave of Trinsdale is the same. Lord Arthur Clementine is the same. Boundaries, commands. Yeah, it looks the same. Looks the same. Your joke about them being 80 extremely odd acres of land are the same. Oh, well, as long as that's the same. The important part is that the jokes are the same. Convey to the bearer of this document, Lady Orave of Trinsdale. The land, forest, and waters. Spanning across 80 odd acres of land. They are indeed 80 odd acres. I was about 80% convinced that this was going to be safe number 8. All right, last will and testament of Herbert S. Sinclair. Let's go. Room 46, last will. Page 1. I, Humford S. Sinclair, of the Mount Holly Estate at Rennington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I declare that I am not and have never been married and have no children. First, I direct that all my debts and outstanding expenses be paid as soon after my decease as possible. Secondly, I direct all the servants and staff in my employ at the time of my death shall be granted indefinite leave to be paid out of the reserves of my estate set aside for such occasion, until such a time as a new master of Mount Holly bids their return. In the event that the aforesaid reserves for this purpose are depleted before a new master of the estate is found, I direct my executor to make provisions for their future employment, and to do so in a manner that is just and equitable to all parties involved. Thirdly, to my faithful valet, Hartley Ruota, I hereby gift to him the lake house in Trinsdale as a small measure of gratitude for his many years of unwavering loyalty and devoted service. Good. That's fair. I direct that my executor take such steps as are necessary to transfer ownership of said lake house to Hartley Ruota, and should use all reasonable efforts to persuade him to accept the same. Furthermore, to my late cousin Tillin's 2 children, Courtney Farron and Rygard Farron. Who the hell are these people? All right. We got some new names to be added to the list. I guess at the bottom of the list. Sure. Tillin. Humphrey's cousin. Courtney Farron. Child of Tillin. Rygard Farron. Child of Tillin. Who the hell are these people? Who have sometimes been impulsive and hasty in their actions. I grant to each a cuckoo clock set eternally on the sacred hour, for only time will tell when they are ready to slow down enough to appreciate the gifts bestowed upon them with the patience and wisdom that comes with maturity. Wow, what a call-out. In the case that Lionel Epson should return from his travels abroad, or in the event that any of his heirs should present themselves, I bequeath to him or them, as the case may be, the diary and its related key, which former belonged to his sister Clara Epson. Okay. So now we have another Epson. Lionel Epson. Clara's brother. Which I have kept in her room and beside her grave, respectively and respectfully. Have I read that yet? I have, actually. It involved her sleep patterns. It was surprisingly unhelpful. I really expected more out of it. And instead it was just notes on how terrible her sleep has been and what happens when she slept in other rooms. Whoa, there's hints towards the gallery here. Page 3. In addition, it is my fervent desire that the gallery, along with all the artwork contained within, be bestowed upon the Reddington Museum of Art, including the sculptures, exhibits, and the entire collection of drawings by Christopher Manson, comprised of 4 pieces entitled Think, Ponder, Realize, and Ruminate. This generous donation shall be made 1 year hence following the date of my earthly departure, when it will be removed from Mount Holly's draft pool. Oh, interesting. I wonder if there's actually code for that. Like, on, you know, November 5th or 7th or whatever it is, in the following year, can you no longer draft the gallery? Day 365 gallery removed from draft pool permanently. Yeah. I'm actually expecting that to be a thing that happens in the game. That would be real interesting. Moreover, to the Grand Cathedral of Iraja, I bequeath 8 stone statues sculpted in the likeness of the 8 Ajeran angels. Whoa, confirmation of the names! Orinda, Lydia, Rinna, Joya, Dauja, Vea, Mila, and Draxus, which are all the names I already have. I have these written down already. Fairly confident on my angel naming prior to this situation. Where are the angel names? But we can double check. Oh, I was right there. I just walked past it. Orinda, Lydia, Rinna, Joya, yup, and Joya Lunch, Dauja, Vea, Mila, and Draxus. Yep. Cool. These sculpted figures have been in the Sinclair tomb for multiple generations, and even though there has been much debate over their natural numeric order, they have nevertheless remained steadfast in their safeguarding of our family's secrets. I trust they will continue to provide the Cathedral of Iraja that same level of stewardship. Let's see. Page 4. This can get closed. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, that's me, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all the rest, residue, and remainder of my estate, and of my right title and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly, as a token of the cordial and affectionate friendship which for nearly a half-century his grandmother, Clara Epson, has shown me. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate of Mount Holly. This room, among other things of value, holds the physical deed to the entire estate, as well as many other personal effects and policies of insurance. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Within a timely manner. I guess that's the house. The house is a timely manner. I mean, I'm in the house and I found room 46. So I guess that's good. Like you know this is deliberate, right? You know this is a deliberate spelling choice. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room, or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse, and the above clauses on this page, and provisions pertaining to that clause, shall be considered null and void, and the rest of my estate shall be disposed of and gifted to the Orindian Heritage Foundation. Probably a clue? Maybe. There certainly have been a lot of things related to time in this manner. Under condition that the house be immediately winnowed and sealed with explicit instructions and allowances, that the site shall not be reopened until black flags are once again flying over Oris, or 110 years have passed since my death, whichever day shall come first. Wow. That's a lot. Page 5. As one final gift to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, regardless of whether he finds room 46 or not, I leave and bequeath to him the original manuscripts of his mother's works that were produced here, under the roof of her childhood home. These preliminary draft copies include red prints, which she wrote while visiting the estate during the brightest of her days, and a new clue, which she penned here during the darkest. I hope that in due time, and in bolded, the natural order of things, you will come to be content, as I have, with what little of herself she left us. What the hell does this mean? The natural order of things. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Probably not important. Yeah, I'm sure that's just a minor detail. A little quibble. Maybe a flourish. Formatting errors can happen to anyone. In the natural order of things. Well, that is a will and testament, I suppose. That's true. I do know how finicky word can be. Huh. Well, All right, I suppose. Given how puzzles lead into puzzles lead into puzzles, almost surprising if this didn't lead to something new. I mean, it doesn't... It kind of doesn't seem like it is, honestly. This is... Wait a minute. If the deed was on the table when the room was monked, what's behind here when the room is monked? Well, we're monking the treasure trove anyway. But I now have some incentive to come back and monk room 46 again. Monk, library, study, room 46. Yeah, I kind of think I will just have to monk 46 again. All right, but for now, we got to go to the treasure trove and do the thing. It's only the second time that phrase has been used in this document. Did it get used multiple times? Where? Where? Yeah, but like I want to know where it's spawning? Like it's not actually relevant to me, but it is a mystery. And that will not stand. Is it in this room? No. Where the hell is it? All right, if anybody sees it, tell me. It's got to be on the floor somewhere near here. Given that I can't see it at all, I think it's in the Chamber of Mirrors through the wall. Where am I? Oh, yeah, it's probably Chamber of Mirrors. Yep. That's probably it. It's probably the key in the Chamber of Mirrors. That's fine. I can ignore that. Metal detector goes crazy around maid room if the maid cleans up any items. That would be funny. Just stuffs them all in the closet. Hello? Oh, yes. No, I still got to go all the way around. It's true, is it? You gotta remember, Chrono, I am so used to completely disregarding everything you say. You spent so long thinking it was a secret puzzle or something. Alright, fair enough. Alright, yeah, calling it a day in the treasure trove. Let's go. Alright, big news! Alright, let's go grab the key and then head to the room and see what happens. Let's see what happens! Thank you, Sauna, for the extra steps. Probably nothing? Yeah, I bet it's not particularly interesting. I bet the treasure of the trove is pretty minor. Oh, maybe the real treasure of the trove. Maybe the true treasure of the trove is the friends we made along the way. It's just gonna be another hamster. That's what's gonna be in the treasure of the trove. There's only one hamster in the bunk room because the second hamster is the true treasures of the trove. $0.87 on eBay. How sad. Oh, I gotta do the thing again? Alright, fine. 109, click. 115, click. To east, click. And then it goes to 8 because, yes, of course it does. That's fine. Oh, what did I start with? Broken lever and shovel. Alright, that's fine. Those are reasonable starts. The friends we made along the way aren't worth that much. You're seeing 87 cents on eBay. That's because friendship is priceless. You can't put a price on friendship. Which, I guess priceless is the same thing as worthless? Pretty much the same thing. Oh, it's a good thing I had a gem here. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. That's the key. It's the scepter! An Ajeran Royal Scepter. When you pick up Royal Scepter, choose a color. Floor plans of the chosen color are more common today. Steady is the scepter. If you call it a day in a room matching the chosen color, Royal Scepter will not be lost at the end of the day. Ah! That's how you do that. That's how you make this work. Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Alright. Alright. Sure. Okay. And I gotta choose a color here? Wait, it doesn't say ready is the scepter, right? I don't have to pick red, do I? Do I have the thing written down? Why don't I have the thing written down? I guess I have the screenshot of it. I don't remember which thing is ready. I think ready is the throne. Why? Here we go. Steady is the scepter. Deadly is the stone. Heavy is the crown. Ready is the throne. Alright. Is it called scepter because you can choose between sept colors? Probably. That makes sense to me. Alright. So, we now have the scepter. The scepter can be retained across runs. So the next step is, in one run, we have to bring the scepter in with us. We have to get to room 46 and acquire the blue crown. Or moon pendant or something. We have to get the throne room close enough to the front of the house that we can walk to it appropriately. We have to get the shrine in the outer room. We have to have a sledgehammer. This is a lot of things. Hang on. All right, shrine, sledgehammer, scepter, blue crown, throne room position. Always need to call it a day in the scepter color to have the scepter the next day? Yes. Yes, correct. Or else monk the treasure vault again. Yes, correct. As far as I know, there is a hint for this. I mean, I feel like I know what I'm doing here. So, I don't know whether or not I need a hint for it. Do I need a hint for it? You be the judge. There is always coat check. That's a really good point. I had forgotten that coat check existed. Okay. So this can be room 46 or coat check. Sledgehammer is almost always going to be available in the shop, in the commissary. Scepter is going to be retained across runs. Retained across runs. And then throne room position is the other thing. And getting the shrine out to the outside room is also going to be potentially a thing that needs to be done. All right, so I guess I am going to take blue this run because I'm not convinced I'm doing the thing. No, I literally can't do the thing this run because we need the shrine. And I want to be able to call it a day in the break room. So we will call out blue. Blueprints are more common. Confirm. Does that count for my banner? It does not count for my banner. Don't we want to monk 46 again? We do. However, this is more important. Also, look at all this money. For once in my goddamn life, I am going to value story progression over, hey, what if? I said once! I said once! What if the story was the friends we made along the way? That is as believable as anything else. For science stuff is fun, though. It is, true. But I really want to see what happens if this gets done. Honestly, if I can open up room 46 today, that would be a good idea. I have the extra steps. I can just immediately run down to... I should have done this before running back into here. I should have just immediately run down to the sanctum and opened up room 46. Although I guess I could have done... I can also do it via the throne room if that ends up being an option. Oh, I have the extra steps. I'm just going to go do it now. Although this is definitely the kind of thing that would be easier if I had running shoes. Hello? Hold to skip. Thank you very much. Morajai still feels like it's supposed to be temperate. Hang on, we're gonna play around here a little bit. The question is the culture. I think that's the only thing in question at this point, actually. Because Windy is not unused. Windy has now been used. Because he did call out the temperature difference between Vera and Morajai. God, no wonder I wasn't getting it right before. I had the things backwards. Blech. So, like, straight beam makes sense to me. White makes sense to me. That's fine. That's white. Those are straight beams. That is the correct number of beams. So then it's just a question of what the motes are? It's not rainy or stormy. Is this heat? This is heat. It could be heat. But, like, I don't know. It deliberately called out that it's more temperate. I think it's just going to be the straight beams. That's not the button I need to do. Oh. So I was right about most of my guesses. Which mote is that? Roman Rune, assist. That is agricultural. Harvest and farming based society and culture. How am I supposed to know that? Has there been any indication in game about that? Oh well. The original Morajai box. Morajai boxes were a popular fad in the early 30s among both the peerage and common crowds. These small mechanical puzzle boxes originated on the island Morajai as a children's game, but quickly gained popularity among seafarers who valued the compact boxes as both lockbox and entertainment on long voyages. Over time, the boxes spread from port to port and eventually found their way into the homes and hearts of every realm. A traditional Morajai box is distinguished by a lid featuring a 3x3 grid of white and gray tiles. Each white tile can be pressed like a button, which will change the color of that tile and the surrounding squares. The goal of each box is to find a way to make all 4 corner tiles into white squares. These simple rules evolved as the game spread across the world. Regional variations introduced new colors and mechanics, offering greater challenges and local flavor. While the fad may have ended, more Ajai boxes still make for a memorable gift for both collectors and puzzle enthusiasts. Oh dear. I certainly don't remember what most of these buttons do. What does yellow do? You'd think I would know this. Yellow climbs. Ah. Okay. Well, this is a problem. There we go. Buttons can be pushed. True. True. After a short sea voyage, we arrived on the main island of Mor Ajai last night in good spirits. The people here are belligerent in their politeness, and after spending a full day among the Jai Orail, is that Ijaran? Does Mor Ajai also have its own language? I am just as afraid of eating another dish as I am of rejecting their offers. I may try to sneak away tomorrow and spend some time alone with my books, as I have noticed that each realm I have visited has one thing in common. They have each been short on solitude. Alright, well that is one more postcard. The last of which. Postcard. Mor Ajai. We did it. Cool. Yellow rises up like mountains. Ah, yes. Yes, of course it does. And if I'm remembering correctly, red turns black into more red, because of course it does. Oh? Trophy of Sigils. I forgot there was a trophy associated with this. Trophies earned will be permanently added to the trophy room for unlocking all 8 realm sigils. In recognition of visiting 8 realms in 8 months. Neat. Alright, we take those. Anyway, the door's open is the important part. And I am not willing to press the buttons and spend the time necessary to go get the gem off to the side here. So, we'll just head on back to the manor. Round the world in 80 sigils. Pretty much the same thing. Yeah, that's my understanding. Oh, wait. I do need to mark that this has been solved. These are... This place is temperate. And this is agriculture. Great. Okay, so objectives for today's run, then. We've done Cloister. We've done monk things. Okay, we need to check Blue Crown. And that's about it. That's, I think, the most we can do in terms of preparation. All right, cool. Check Blue Crown and find a computer to special request Sledgehammer like I always do. Oh, there is the break room I was looking for. Yo, look at that scepter. Sweet looking scepter. I am looking for more gems, so storeroom's not a bad idea either. And then I want to remember to not take Chamber of Mirrors this run, because I feel like this is potentially a good run to try and get the Sledgehammer into position. Yo, Observatory? I'm in. I'm ready to reveal 1 coin 4. Show me 1 coin 4. 1 coin 4. All right, great. And I'll take my 1 free gem. I guess I should probably hit the rest of the the rest of the constellations. Not that one. Sail doesn't matter. Whatever. Sure, sail. Den is good. I don't have a Sledgehammer yet. The scepter does not double as a Sledgehammer. Alright, good to know. Hey! Observatory number 2, just like we wrote it up. We do want coat check. We do. I agree. One coin for each. For each what, do you think? None of these are coat check. Break room is fine. All of these are fine. Office is like... I do want a computer, but I don't want to spend 2 gems on a computer. So I guess it will just be break room here. Yeah, Draxus is I think, more limiting than it is helpful. 10, 60, 100. Divided by 20 is 5. Uh-oh. 1/3 of 10 rounded to the nearest 1 is 3? A 3.3, I guess? So 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1/3 of 1 is 5 point something. It's still going to be 5. So 5? All right. Double dots. Oh boy. So this is 1, by which we mean 2. Times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Wait, does that work? Is it doubled at each step? Oh, I'm not actually sure whether this means double the number or double the total. You tend to click it halfway through the day if needed. That's fair. Well, let's assume it's 2 times 2 times 2. As opposed to 1 doubled to 2 times 1, 2 doubled to 4 times 1, 4 doubled to 8. Oh, it's the same either way. Okay, great. And now the thing. Break room exists. Now the break room exists, which is very important. Just study. I suppose a conference room is helpful. Let's take a conference room. Now if I spread stuff, not that we will do a lot of spreading with blue rooms. Aquarium? Could take an aquarium. Kennel is dangerous here. Take the aquarium, I think. Very worried about what direction things are going to go. Hello. Heck yeah. Delicious turnip. Probably gonna want the dining room. Certainly want the dining room more than I want any of the rest of these. Because doors. I'm concerned. Enjoy a lunch. It's so good. I don't want any of these. I guess I'm okay taking the pantry here, because it at least is pointed in the right direction. And I should see whether or not this has just like a random salt shaker or something. One of those items I constantly walk past. Yo, banana? This pantry is bananas. I could have rotated the Dovecot. I could have. But I'd rather have the Dovecot stay in the pool than use the Dovecot there, considering I get the same value out of the pantry. Yo, sledgehammer. Cool. I have some trunks to go open. Should I do that first? I'm not short on gems. I wouldn't say I'm short on steps either. Let's just keep going. We'll see what happens. That's a lot of dead ends. Okay, I guess we're taking the gallery. Which is still in the pool for now. You know what? That can just stay right there. I'm going to not bother with the room 8 key. Trophy room. Alright, yeah, I'll take the gems. This is a good time for gems. Anything else in this room? Where is my new trophy? There it is. The trophy case is slowly getting filled out. What am I still missing? The drafting strategy sweepstakes. So a 20 dead end run. Darebird curse trophy. Day 1 trophy. And trophy of speed. Boy, these are not easy to do, are they? Dare mode seems like it might be interesting. Cursed mode seems like it's probably not all that interesting. Boiler room opens the correct direction, so we can work with that. You haven't tried for those? Understandable. The code check. This isn't the best place for it. But I think maybe I just take it so that I know it exists. It's mostly, can I make any meta progression this day until you get enough to win? Yeah, that checks out. Mechanarium, not super good here. Archives sounds like a sucker's bet. Mechanarium, actually, is my 3rd gear. So it's open in all of the places that I need it to be. I could just take it. But it doesn't open the other door in the antechamber, which we do eventually need a door opened in the antechamber. So I'm not super happy about that. I think I just take the rotunda. And that gives me 2 doors. Day 1 is a lot of resetting, I bet. I want to open the down door first. A lot of sitting around and waiting here. Parlor? Parlor's good. I do need the gems. Attic also good. No goodies. Here we go. Oh, God. There is no box that contains a mix of true and false statements. That's maybe true. It's possible that that's true. There is no box that displays 3 false statements. That is possibly true. There is no box that displays a number that also appears on another box. That is false. So we have maybe false. Guaranteed false at the bottom here. There is no box that mentions a specific color. That's true. There is no box that displays 3 true statements. That's maybe true. So this could be a fully true box. There's no box that is between 2 empty boxes. Oh. There is no box that contains a statement with less than 8 words. 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is no box that displays exactly 1 true statement. Okay. The second one is true. The bottom one could be true. So we have maybe, true, maybe. And this is maybe false. And this is true, maybe. Yeah, this is deep into the parlor. Fully agreed. I wonder how deep the parlor games go. Okay, where do we start with this? I think, on a meta level, the gems have to be in the white box. Because the only statement that discusses the contents of the box is this statement on the top of black. And if this is, yeah, the rule of specificity. Sure, I didn't have a name for it, but yes. So if this is true, there aren't gems in the white box. The gems are either in black or blue. But then the gems are either in black or blue with no other information about where the gems could be. Yeah, knowing the puzzle is solvable makes it solvable. Yeah, right? So it seems extremely likely that the top statement on this black box is true. Or is false, rather. But I should be able to determine, based on the other statements, that this top statement has to be false. given that I currently know that this is something true something, and something something false. Man, do I need to start writing this down? Do I need to start, like, making a spreadsheet with this information so I'm actually tracking it? Because tracking it all in my head, like 8 different statements, is a lot to track. 8 different statements is a lot to track. Programmer picks up a Rubik's Cube, codes to find a solution. Engineer takes it apart, reassembles. Mathematician picks it up, declares a solution exists, and sets it back down. Yep. Yep, that checks out. There is no box that contains a mix of true and false statements. All right. If that's true... Wait, no, I think that just straight up can't be true. Because there is a false statement on this box. Heard that joke with a fire and a fire extinguisher. The bottom statement here is false. So the top statement must also be false. Because if it were true, then this whole box would have to be true. And that can't be true. So this box is mixed. Which means this has to be fully true. And this has to be fully false. Which means the thing that I said before about the statement is true. So it has to be in here. Alright, good. Figured it out. There are a bunch of these statements that the actual veracity of those statements don't matter. Because I can figure out that blue is mixed. Ooh, struggle. I don't want any of these. I certainly don't want Chamber of Mirrors. I don't want my third gear Mechanarium to be here, so I guess I am taking the Clock Tower. I suppose I will step into the Clock Tower and see what is on offer. Well, I haven't seen one of these in a while. Not that it's going to be particularly helpful. Have I gotten to that room? I have not. At least I already have a shovel. So I could get money and or gems. One of which is far more useful than the other at this stage in my progression. I can hit this button one more time and have it set to go back up to the boiler room, because that's the only thing that matters here. I think we are rotating the pool in order to be better, and then taking the pool. I do still need to open some of the antechamber doors, which is a little bit harder on a full blue day. A little bit more difficult. Maybe if I find a music room, I'll get a secret garden key. That would be nice. Drawing room? Drawing room is delightful. I'm not hurting for resources, so maybe I just go straight up from here? hello, Dovecot. Um... Sure. Reading Nook into library should hopefully give me the direction I'm looking for. Yep, library did in fact give me the direction I'm looking for, so that's good. Locker room is fine, actually. And that'll put a bunch of keys in the conference room that I can go back for later. Foundation. None of these are foundation. Also, none of these open up in any other direction. So I guess I have to take the drafting studio and hope we can find... What is a south door? Greenhouse or weight room? I do have a broken lever. So that's not impossible. Okay. And dinner is served. Also, I now know things about the Great Hall. Which is top left and top right. Also, it's February 5th. I guess far left and far right is the information I am looking for. And I don't have a magnifying glass. Very sad. A very detailed paper model of a safe. Alright, well, that's 2 gems well spent. Banner time. Oh, I can't even get into the right side anymore. Wow, my options are really limited here. I can't get the greenhouse. Greenhouse is only on the right side of the map. So it's exactly weight room? Do I need to set my banner to weight room? I might need to set my banner to red. Okay. That feels pretty cursed. Think I can get the greenhouse on the left, really? If so, I have never seen that happen. Well, this run isn't exactly over. Oh, I can redraw. Oh. None of these open the correct direction anyway. Still not great. Still not great. I don't think attic will put me net positive on gems. So I'm disinclined to take attic here. Just take the hallway closet. Hope I find some dice. Well, that's not exactly dice. I do have more trunks to open. Where did I see trunks? I think there was a trunk in the den. And I think I've added trunks to the entrance hall. Also, there are a bunch of keys waiting for me in the conference room. So I think... a little bit of wasted steps. I think I will go dunk some keys into the locker room. Dunk all 9 of my current keys. I don't have a good sense of the map here. I wish I had a better sense of, like, which of these are better investments. Looks like 3 in each row, except for 2 in this row. 3, 3, 3. So 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. All right, well, we'll just open the first 9. Sweet. Okay. It's too bad I can't use the lockpick here. Okay, this'll never have anything in it because it always has plot in it. So if I am just going for stuff, I should probably not open the plot locker. That's kind of cool. Plot locker sounds like a store in a mall. Alright, well, that is all of my keys. And there are still 8 more doors in the locker. So 17 potential doors in the locker room. Alright. Has been a bit of a mess. Do I want to check something as long as I'm here? Like, I don't know that I'll be able to... Oh, no, dinner has been served. Once I run through the dining room, I'll be fine. So I'm not too worried about my stat count. Also, I have running shoes. Running shoes are fantastic. Stuffed wild quail. Oh, and I do have a trophy room, I think. Wow. Quite the haul. I don't think I've seen that one before, actually. And this is my actual last door. So here we go. Rumpus room goes straight through. Kennel doesn't cost me steps. Hang on. Good boy. Cat! We have a wooed. A woo has occurred. I forgot to go get the keys. I'm gonna go get the keys. The den, I think, had a thing. Worth? And the observatories have not gotten me anything into the entrance hall. So I don't need to run back to the entrance hall. Whatever, I have the steps. Yeah, we're cool. None of these work. That's the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this run has ended. Solid try, folks. Solid try. What do I put into the coat check? Here, have a study or something. I don't know. I could just check the pick sound amplifier again. I might want to check the running shoes, actually. Those things are dope. Hang on, hang on. Mistakes are made. Much better. Like, as fun as the pick sound amplifier is, I kind of think running shoes are maybe the best of the things that I have available. Or broken lever. Running shoes are... Oh, maybe broken lever's better. I'm kind of into that. Key of Ares. Well, I don't need to take the Key of Ares with me. That's easy to retain. And I will be calling it in a blue room. Because the other option is calling it outside. Which I don't see much of a reason to ever do. So I don't need to check the Royal Scepter. Checking a sledgehammer is possible, but I have decent enough lines on how to get a sledgehammer in a future run that I'm not worried about it. Between the pick sound amplifier and the running shoes and the broken lever, I guess? Of those, the pick sound amplifier is going to be the hardest to pick up again in a future run. But I don't know whether it is the most useful to have in a future run. It is pretty useful, though. I feel like broken lever I get most of the time regardless. Running shoes I get infrequently, but I think as far as step count goes, it's not necessary. So between the lever and the pick sound amplifier, kind of inclined to check the pick sound amplifier. It's close. I think I will check the pick sound amplifier. Alright. Back to the break room and calling it a day. Where's the break room? Yes, this is correct. What just happened? Oh. I went through the wrong observatory. 2 observatories directly off the den. Alright, cool. We figured it out. Everything's fine. Okay. Yeah, call it a day here. And next day... Monked. I guess we'll have monked break room. But we need the shrine anyway. Checked sound pick amplifier. That's correct. So we are still looking for... Room 46 for Blue Crown. Is the most important thing. And then the other stuff, which is far more important than this stuff. All right. Okay, this is done, which is amazing. This is done as well. This is done. And then there's the other stuff that I have no idea whether or not it's actually a thing. But lots of forward movement. All right. Calling it a day. I get to keep the scepter. And it is almost 5:30, so probably not a good time to start another run, given that I know my usual pacing on runs. But this is good progress, so looking forward to the next one, I guess. But yeah, that is going to be it for tonight. Calling it a day and calling it a night.